Welcome back to Buy or Sell, the series where you pitch me your predictions, and I either buy or sell them and explain why. If you want your idea considered for the next video, leave a comment below starting with buy or sell, and I will pick 15 to 20 of them to respond to. In this episode, we look at the longevity of B&M coasters, the future of hydraulic launch coasters, and explore what the reimagined top-fiddle dragster may look like. This is Buy or Sell, episode 11. Let's start with Bill Milliken. Cedar Fair will maintain year-round operations at Kings Dominion and Carowinds beyond the 2023 season. I'm buying this, and it seems to really be catching on over the last 5 years or so. The Six Flags parks in Texas used to have a short off-season. Now they don't. Kings Dominion and Carowinds, I guess, are far enough south to make it work. I know they don't operate all their rides in the winter, and that's kind of a drag. So once you get beyond the Winterfest events, are people going to come to Kings Dominion if the only coasters that are open are Dominator and Twisted Timbers? Carowinds recently added a few more coasters to the Winterfest lineup. That includes Nighthawk and Fury 325, but they are still missing a few, including Intimidator. That could be a downside, but if these parks can open in the winter, they should. It would only be on weekends. I can't imagine they'd be losing money on it, and they can use that as an excuse to raise their season pass prices. Don't expect them to take this away after 2023. SYKWX. Indiana Beach will RMC Hoosier Hurricane or give it topper track by 2030. I'm buying this. They have two normal wooden coasters, Cornball Express being the superior one. They can leave that one alone, but Hoosier Hurricane is kind of a dud. Not a good layout, but a great setting across the lake, running right over the main entrance. It's the most prominent ride in the park. Gene Staples seems to be pretty aggressive, but he doesn't seem to want to spend a lot of money on one project. He's been buying nothing but hand-me-downs from Mexico. RMC Hoosier Hurricane would cost a little more, but it would add so much more to the park than these portable coasters. It makes sense for the park, and I think the idea would be appealing to Gene Staples. Pigs Are My Friends 1. RMC will never make a launch coaster ever again. I'm selling this. Sure, they're probably gun-shy about launch coasters after Lightning Rod, but the simple solution is, don't do an incline launch on a wooden coaster. They have the Raptor model now, and those can be launched. Intamin just did it with their Hot Racer model down in Australia. That's a tire launch, but I can see them using LSMs for something with more power. I'd be surprised if, say, 5 years from now, we don't have a launched Raptor. Jessica Mullins. Six Flags won't see a genuine, ground-up, really good coaster for years. I'm selling this. I don't think Salim Basul's moratorium on coasters will last very long. He may want to take a couple years off to make other improvements and give the Six Flags image a facelift. But eventually, a new ride will be needed to boost attendance, and that will come sooner rather than later. Salim Basul said that Great Adventure's 50th anniversary in 2024 will be big. Shout out to Hollywood Studios and his interview with the CEO. I'll link that down below. But yeah, he said it'll be big, but that could mean anything. They could be doing parades and shows and fireworks. Or they may be getting a new ride, who knows. I don't think it'll be more than a couple years before some park gets some coaster from the ground up. Anton Stark. Germany will get an RMC in the next 3 years. I'm buying this. Germany is absolutely stacked when it comes to parks and coasters. There are so many options out there, and I don't know of any reason why RMC would not want to work in Germany. Maybe not Europa Park, but Hyde Park, Hansa Park, Holiday Park, sure. They have 20 parks with at least 4 coasters, and it seems like one of them may be interested in a Raptor or a ground-up RMC. Germany only has 5 wooden coasters in operation. Not many good RMC candidates here, aside from Bandit at Movie Park Germany. This is an RCCA coaster from 1999, and it's reviled. If the structure is in good shape, it seems like RMC Bandit would be a great addition to the park. Overpowered 54. Cedar Fair will buy a Six Flags park by 2030. I'm buying this. If Six Flags goes down this road for too long, and they get into some real financial trouble, they may be willing to sell off some of the parks to pay off their debts. We saw this before in 2004 and 2007, right when the chain's finances started to get shaky, up to the point where it fell apart. We could be entering a similar cycle now, and they may try to unload a park or two. Cedar Fair may be interested in a park like Discovery Kingdom after Great America closes, even though they don't seem to be interested in taking care of animals. They might want to make a play for parks in regions where they don't have a footprint, like one of the Texas parks or New England. I'm not sure which park Six Flags would be willing to part with, but over the next 7 years, I think it's possible. Elsinore 27. Fun fairs in Europe and America will be cancelled because of the price of electricity. I'm selling this. I know the price of energy worldwide is getting crazy right now for obvious reasons. Hopefully it's temporary. and the powers that be do what they need to do to make it affordable again. But fares will just charge more to offset the energy costs. People will pay a little more to get in, but at some point, if it gets too high, that won't be the case anymore. But I would think and hope that by the time it gets to that tipping point, the energy prices will have stabilized and we can get back to semi-normal. YOLO-dur. Top Thrill Dragster will hit the 500-foot mark with a reimagined design. There is so much speculation about what a reimagined Dragster will look like, and when it may reopen to the public. I've heard that Intamin may not be involved in the current project, and if that's the case, it's hard to believe that Cedar Point will extend the track from 420 feet to 500 feet. We've seen manufacturers renovate rides and put their own track onto the existing track. This happened on Powder Keg at Silver Dollar City. You can see where the track changes, but it feels the same. But would another company extend Dragster's current height and rework the support tower? It doesn't seem likely. Not impossible, but not likely. Whether it goes to 500 feet or not, and whether Intamin is working on it or not, I can see them use a swing launch with a brand new LSM system. These are becoming more and more popular. Intamin uses it on coasters like Pantheon, but we've also seen it on S&S coasters like Gale Force, and premier coasters like Icebreaker. This swing launch may give the ride the power it needs to get over the 420-foot tower, given that the LSMs aren't quite as powerful as the hydraulic launch. At least that seems to be the case. I thought maybe they would just be replacing the launch and that's it. But when the park came out and announced the ride would be retired as we know it, it said to me that this would be much more than a simple swap out of the launch system. It seems like that could have been done quietly, and this will be more significant. The swing launch seems to be a good idea, and it would be a pretty big change. But for the question at hand, I have to sell. It is possible, but given what we know right now, or at least what's in the rumor mill, tacking on 500 more feet seems like too much of a stretch. No pun intended. Night Winds Music. B&Ms will be scrapped rapidly in the 2030s. I'm buying this. Kinda. I don't think it'll happen rapidly, but by the 2030s, if not before, you'll start seeing B&Ms be officially retired. I'm thinking of Vortex at Carowinds, Firebird at Six Flags America. Patriot is going down, but for different reasons. The real question is what's going to happen to rides like Raptor and Nemesis and Kumba and Batman. It's hard to see these being scrapped just because of age. It just seems like, if the Hulk tore itself apart after 16 years of daily operation, why wouldn't that also happen to other B&Ms after 30 years of seasonal operation? I don't think that's a question that we can avoid, and it will come to a head in the next 10 years. Lying Dog-Faced Pony Soldier. More than half of the Intamin hydraulic launches will get an LSM conversion in the next 5 to 7 years. I'm buying this. You can't ignore the wild success of the LSM launch. Aside from the S&S Air launch, LSM has become almost the exclusive weapon of choice for all manufacturers. In terms of reliability and maintenance, it seems like this is the way that parks and manufacturers want to go. As LSM technology continues to improve, and we'll probably see the latest and greatest of that in Dragster when that reopens, other parks will take notice, and I think they will eventually make the change. It may be expensive up front, but it will save them from a headache in the long term. I think if the LSM launch can prove its power and get up to speed using the same launch track, it'll be a no-brainer. Henry Ski. Kennywood will add a modern wooden coaster or an RMC in the next 15 years. I'm selling this. I think all three of Kennywood's wooden coasters are here to stay. I can't imagine a scenario where any of them are taken down anytime soon. That is, unless there's a fire or something that makes them unsalvageable. I don't see any reason for them to get a modern wooden coaster. They've definitely gone away from that option up to this point, loading up with steel coasters ever since 1958. I don't think RMC has any chance of happening here in terms of a hybrid, but I could see a single rail here. Kennywood seems to add a new coaster every 10 years or so unless their next coaster is a single rail, this is not going to happen in the next 15. Rides of Steel. An independent park will get the first access in America. I'm buying this. I thought Six Flags was a slam dunk for the access coaster, but with the chain's new path and the lack of new rides, maybe someone else comes in and steals the first one. Codaland seems like a strong possibility. They want to build up this park. They just went out on a limb with the tilt coaster. Why not go with another innovative ride and try an access? Maybe Fun Spot Atlanta is interested, or one of the Orlando parks. Right now, I'm leaning more towards an independent park getting an access over one of the big chains. Guess that roller coaster. Carowinds does not get another major addition until 2030. I'm selling this. Carowinds has been a Cedar Fair favorite over the last 13 years. They can expect a new coaster every 4 years. COVID may have thrown them off a bit, as next year will be 4 years since Copperhead's strike, but I'm not willing to say that they're going to go another 7 years without something new. Whether it be a new wooden coaster, an RMC conversion of Hurler, a B&M dive, they really should get a new ride in the next couple years. Han Shot First. King's Dominion gets a B&M dive coaster on Volcano's plot. I'm selling this. With Griffin just an hour away, I don't think this is on their radar. If they're going with a B&M, a wing coaster makes a lot more sense. So does a flying coaster. It could even be a surf coaster. Maybe they go back to S&S and follow Upton Beedley with an access coaster, or some kind of powerful air launch. That's less likely. It doesn't really seem like a Cedar Fair move, but otherwise it would make sense for the park. Regardless, no way this is a dive coaster. Windstorm. Six Flags will recall the grandfather memberships currently in place over the next few years. I haven't covered this in full yet, but Six Flags made yet another major change to their pass system over the last month. Their new memberships are gone. So are their basic season passes, and now they have Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. It reminds me a lot of Cedar Fair's model. Their Diamond Pass is the only one that gets you into all the parks, and that's in a more uniform $225 to $250 range. That's not as good because Platinum used to get you into all the parks also, but the price of Platinum went way down. Gold also went way down, and that includes parking, so there's good and bad. My point here is, Six Flags seems to be searching for that sweet spot. This is their third change this year alone. The first one coming in January, the next in late summer, and now one in the fall. Once they finally find the system they want to go with, and this could take a couple years, at that point, I think they will phase out the grandfathered memberships. I may be wrong, there's another way to look at this. They may figure a lot of people who have a grandfathered membership will hang on to that as long as possible, and that's money in Six Flags' pocket. If they kick those people off, who knows how many of them will sign up for a new pass. Some of them will for sure, people like me. But a lot of them may look at the new prices and the benefits and say forget it. That's possible, but I still think they want to get everyone on the same page as soon as possible. Right now, it's really all over the place. That's a wrap on episode 11. Let me know what you think about any of these topics, where you may agree or disagree, and why. And don't forget, if you want your idea considered for the next video, leave it down below, starting with buy or sell. Before you go, if you can drop this video a like, I'd appreciate it. And if you're new here and love coasters, please consider giving me a sub. I have a playlist with all the other episodes in this series. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you also happen to be a baseball fan. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.